Hello everybody, welcome back to the course. In today's lecture we're moving into a new section, and this section of the course is all about grammatical range and accuracy, the final band descriptor category. In the first lecture we're going to focus on simple sentences and common errors which are made, basically achieving accuracy and avoiding typical mistakes. So, constructing simple sentences first of all. Now if you're taking this course, you should already know how to construct a simple sentence in English. It's certainly a requirement even if you're going for like a band 5. Basically, a simple sentence is made up of the most basic sentence elements: a subject and a verb, and then often a completed thought or an object, however you want to put it. The police, there's our subject. Catch, there's our verb, and criminals, there's our object. Teachers in some countries, there's our subject. Are not, there's our verb, and paid very well, that's our completed thought. The government, there's our subject. Should invest in, that's our verb or verb phrase, and the promotion of health education is our completed thought or object. As you can see, we are using other words as well as the standard typical pronoun, verb and object. We're using modal verbs, we're using prepositions, we're using articles, but these can all be part of a simple sentence. So let's focus on the common errors that are made in these types of sentences and in more complicated sentence types. Because although simple sentences may seem easy, I often see mistakes in their construction. The first of these types of mistakes we're going to focus on are subject-verb agreements. So I want you to have a look at these following sentences now and tell me what is wrong with each of them. Teachers and parents has to work together to find a solution. Everyone knows education is of vital importance. The number of people who live abroad are rising all the time. So what is wrong with each of these sentences? You can see that the verb has not agreed with the subject, and we have corrected it so that the verb does agree with the subject. Teachers and parents have, because we're looking at a plural, have to work together. Everyone knows, so here we're looking at a singular pronoun. Everyone sounds like a plural, but we treat it like a singular pronoun. Everyone knows education. And the number of people who live abroad is, because we're focusing on the number, which is a singular. So the number of people who live abroad is rising all the time. So always check what your subject is and make sure that your verb agrees with that subject. The second common error is with article usage. Now there are a number of rules regarding articles, much more than can be quickly covered here. However, here are the most common mistakes I see and the most relevant for essay writing in task 2. Definite articles to begin with. The. We use this article when we believe the reader knows exactly to whom or what we are referring. We use them with superlative adjectives. The biggest problem in big cities. When mentioning something again, after we've introduced it once, we mention it again, and then we can use the definite article. People's buying habits can be influenced by a particular celebrity. The celebrity has such an effect because. So when you introduce it again, then you can use the definite article. When saying something about all things referred to by a noun, the laptop was a major breakthrough. So that the laptop, the invention of that laptop, was a major breakthrough. When talking about groups of people, the elderly, the poor, the rich, the unemployed. So a lot of groups of people can begin with a definite article. And when the figure is the important part of the noun phrase, the number of people who smoke is worryingly high. Not a number of people who smoke, that would be more concerned with the people themselves. If we're more concerned about the figure, the actual number, then we'll use the article in front of number. The number of people who smoke is worryingly high. What about indefinite articles? A or an if we're going before a vowel sound. We use this article with singular countable nouns when the reader does not know exactly to whom or what we are referring. When showing someone or something is part of a group, so there is a reason why crime rates are continuing to rise. It's one reason out of several. It is not the only reason. So a reason. It's part of a group. When we want to say something about all things of that kind, so a student cannot be expected to be well behaved all the time. We're not looking at a specific student, just all things of that kind. We do not use articles when referring, we do not use indefinite articles when referring to plurals or uncountable nouns. There are many reasons why. Information on the internet can sometimes be unreliable, not an information on the internet. So we never use indefinite articles when referring to plurals or uncountable nouns. With all that in mind, let's see if you can find the article errors in these sentences here. Maybe you'd like to pause the video, go through this because there are a number of errors in these sentences, and come back when you're ready, when you think you found them all. Okay, hopefully you found them. Let's see if you've got them right. Some people argue that teenagers, not specific teenagers, just teenagers in general, teenagers spend too much time on the internet. We always put a definite article before the when we're looking at internet as a noun. This is a problem. It's not the only problem. It's a problem because if they do not get enough exercise, they can end up suffering from obesity. We do not use an article with an uncountable noun like obesity. As a result, not the only result, these children often struggle with health issues. Not any specific health issues, just health issues in general. And these issues can affect them throughout life. No article there either. As studies show, the reader doesn't know which studies we're talking about, so we can't use an article here. The rate of obesity, it's a specific rate, the rate of obesity, is rising all the time. Okay? Hopefully all of those make sense. Let's look at the final common error, which is regarding tenses. The majority of your essay will need to be written in the present simple, as this tense is often used to give opinions. I think investment is good. Or facts and beliefs. Education leads to a competent workforce. However, you need to be careful to realize when other tenses are necessary. This is particularly the case in some more difficult task 2 questions, sometimes which ask you to talk about the future or the past. Can you spot the mistakes in these sentences? The best way to improve the economy will be to lower taxes. 3 years ago, the government has decided to invest in healthcare. This leads to a huge improvement in public health. Sports facilities would be important because they would offer people an opportunity to exercise. To solve this problem, the government should give teachers a pay rise. As a result, the levels of job satisfaction rise and work performance improves. Now the errors here are slightly more difficult to find than with articles and subject-verb agreements. A little bit trickier. That's why when we come to the checking the essay lecture, I advise against checking for tenses when you've finished. Check for easier errors. But for this lecture today, particularly when we're thinking about getting it right at the time when you are actually writing your essay, it's very important that you use the correct tense. So see if you can work out where the issues are and then play the video again when you're ready to continue. Okay, let's see how you got on. The best way to improve the economy is to lower taxes. So it's your view, it's your belief. When we give these beliefs, you only need to use the present simple. 3 years ago, the government decided to invest in healthcare. We have a specific time in the past, 3 years ago. Therefore, we use the past simple. This led to a huge improvement in public health. Again, it's something that happened in the past, so we use the past simple. Sports facilities are important because they offer people an opportunity to exercise. That's not some unlikely event in the future, it's something that is true today. To solve this problem, the government should give teachers a pay rise. As a result, the levels of job satisfaction would rise, and work performance would improve. Here, we don't want to use the present simple because we are looking at a future result, and therefore we need to use language which represents that future result. In this case, would. So that was a look at simple sentences and the three most common mistakes, which are subject-verb agreement, article usage, and tense usage. In the next lecture, we're going to look at how to accurately create a complex sentence.